Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a easy, powerful, beginner-friendly AI automation that you guys can build today. Automation platforms and automations have existed for many years. The secret sauce that we have available to us today is that we can connect AI to these automation platforms. There are so many use cases for digital entrepreneurs, for content creators, for brands and businesses to use these AI-powered automations to streamline their workflows. For example, you can build automations that auto-generate content and auto-post to your social media accounts. And that is just one example. The AI automation that we're working on today is actually very flexible. So unlike other AI automation videos, I'm going to jump right into the powerful, juicy stuff. For our automation today, we're going to be using one of my favorite platforms, and that is Make.com, formerly known as Integromat. The cool thing about Make.com is that you can sign up for a free account and start automating today. I will be sure to put the Make.com link down in the description of this video, and any other links that we talk about today in this video, I'll be sure to include in the description as well. Once you've logged into Make.com, the first thing we're going to do is come over here to the top right and click on Create a New Scenario. Now we have our new scenario. First, let's rename our scenario. So come over here to the top left, delete this text, and type in whatever name you want. I'm going to put Test AI Webhook Assistant. There we go. Here in the center, you're going to see this purple circle with a plus on it. When you click that, it's going to show you all the apps that you can connect to Make.com. I would suggest taking time and reviewing all the apps that you can connect with in this tool so you can see if there's any app that you use on a daily basis, and you can start building your workflows around that. So if I wanted to give you guys a breakdown of all the cool things that you could do with Make.com, this video would be like 3 hours long. I'm going to start you guys off with a powerful, easy scenario to build. The secret sauce that a lot of people are overlooking when it comes to these automation platforms is that now you can connect AI to your workflows. For example, if you wanted, you could connect to ChatGPT, you can connect to Claude, and today we will be connecting to Perplexity. But before we connect Perplexity, we're going to need to start with our first module. And today we're going to be using webhooks. If you do not see this symbol, the webhook symbol, you can come down here to search apps and just type in webhooks or webhook. Click on the module, and here you can see the triggers and actions. So basically what you can do with these webhooks. Today we're going to be using the custom webhook module, this one. So triggers when webhook receives data. So click on that. And before we start with this, I want to give you guys a quick breakdown of what webhooks are and why they are important to use on Make.com. And to do that, I'm going to ask for a little bit of assistance from AI. I don't know if you guys have been using the latest Google Gemini live voice capability, but I've been using it all the time. I love how natural and how human it sounds. So let's see what it thinks about webhooks inside of Make.com.
A webhook is like a little messenger that connects two apps. Instead of having one app constantly check in with another, a webhook lets the first app know right away when something important happens in the second one. This saves a ton of time and makes sure everything stays up to date. With link-to-make.com, webhooks get used to supercharge your automations. For example, let's say you want to create a new contact in your email whenever someone fills out a form on your website. You can set up a webhook to instantly send that new form data to link-to-make.com. Link-to-make.com can then use that data to create the contact in your email. This saves you time and makes sure everything stays up to date.
So to build our custom webhook, we're going to come over here to add. We're going to click on this, and we're going to be able to name our webhook. So make sure to give your webhook a name that you can identify later, because you might want to jump back to this webhook for other automations. So today this is going to be, let's do AI Assistant webhook. Just click Save, and there you go. You've created your first webhook. And now the important thing you're going to want is this down here. This is your URL to your webhook, but it's basically how you use the webhook. So you're going to want to copy that. Don't worry, you're not going to lose it. It's always going to be visible here, but you're going to copy that, and we're going to use that later in our build. So just click on OK. Now our custom webhook is set up. Now let's add our next module. Come over here to this plus symbol, click on that, and we're going to add in the Perplexity module. So if you want to see what modules are available, right now you have create a chat completion or make an API call. We're going to use create a chat completion. So now that we've got our Perplexity module inside of our scenario, we're going to need a API key from Perplexity. Now to get that, you're going to go over to Perplexity, go into your settings, and you're going to see a tab that says API. Click on there and follow the instructions and generate a key. Now the only thing about this is that API keys cost money. There is free alternatives like Hugging Face. You can get free API keys there and use models without paying any money. But anytime you use ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity, you're going to be paying some kind of money for the API use. I will be sure to leave documentation down in the description of this video that tells you guys how you can get your API keys from ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity and the free alternative on Hugging Face. So once you have your API key, you're going to come back over here. You're going to click on Add, and you're going to paste your API key down below here. At the top, you can change the connection name. So sometimes you got to make multiple connections on different automations. So it's always good to label these. Okay, so I pasted my API key in, and now it looks like it's ready to go. We have the model down here. Check this out. If you click that, it'll show you all the available models you can use. Below that is where we are going to put our prompt in this message section. So you're going to click here on add an item. Your prompt is going to go here. So prompt goes here. And you're going to set this role to user. All right, so now let's add the last module to our scenario. So we're going to click on add another module, come back to webhooks, and we're going to do webhook response. All right, perfect. Our automation is looking great. We've got all our modules in place. And like I promised, simple and easy. It's only a 3-piece setup here, but versatile and powerful. Now, why do I say versatile and powerful? Because really what this automation is going to do relies on the prompt that you put here and the data that you're getting from your webhook. So you could play with this however you want. You can change up the data source and you can change up the prompt. Before we go any further, I want to show you guys working versions of the webhook assistant. So if we come over here to my Chrome extensions, these 3 icons are working versions of this setup. Before we check out the AI assistants that I built, I want to show you guys a cool free AI assistant that you can download today and start using and experimenting with so you can see the benefits of using an AI assistant in your daily workflow. So let's go back to my Chrome extensions. This cute little face here, this is Merlin AI. When you click on Merlin, a pop-up will appear on your screen. Now the cool thing is you can actually interact with Merlin, click on it while you're browsing the web. So let's say we're on this news site and I wanted to interact with Merlin. I would just click on the pop-up, Merlin would pop out, and he can do different things, right? He can take on different tasks. Now there are some tasks that are automatically loaded in here. So like you can automatically chat with your documents if you click here. You can chat with this web page. So let's just click on chat with this web page. And we can tell it, give me a summary. And there we go. So it's giving us a summary of the news on this web page. So it's talking about OpenAI's new strawberry model and basically bullet points on the article that it's referencing here. So this is just one quick example that you could use Merlin for, but there's many different things you can use Merlin for. Like I said, you can always automatically use one of these tasks here. There's chatbots, you can generate images. You do only get a certain amount of credits on the free plan, but 101 credits is pretty good when you're using ChatGPT 4o Mini because the charge for ChatGPT 4o Mini is actually cheaper, but it's powerful. So you can really play around with Merlin and use it even on the free plan. But today you're going to learn how to build something like Merlin. That's basically what we're doing here. Now let's check out some of the custom AI assistants that I built and you're going to be able to build after watching this video. Let's go back to our Chrome extensions because just like Merlin, our AI assistant is going to be a custom Chrome extension. So the first AI assistant I built was called Tweet Sniper. And what Tweet Sniper did or does is it would take the highlighted text from the website that I'm on, paste that here. When you click paste highlighted text, it would show up here and it would take the URL as well. It would convert that into data. And then when you click analyze text, it would send that over to Perplexity and then that would generate tweets for me to copy and paste into Twitter. So that's one use case for an AI assistant. So you can use it to create content or tweets or any written content. You could set this up to really help you with that task. Now, the next custom AI assistant I built was more tailored towards YouTube and video content. So Onyx here is my second custom AI assistant. And what this does is it takes the title of the video that I'm currently looking at or that I've highlighted. Basically, I need to highlight the text of the title, and it would paste that. So for example, here, it would paste that down here in this paste box or in the highlighted text box, and it would take this data, send it over to Perplexity, and create new titles for me based off of the title that it's using and the data that it's received. So let's try it out. Now, I made sure to make the prompt in a way, or write the prompt in a way that it would optimize titles for me, because I have to come up with titles all the time. I'm creating content every single day, and I do use AI to optimize my titles. So what if I didn't have to jump from the browser or the video I'm looking at to an AI model to think of titles, right? I could do it all in the same window, and that's basically what this AI assistant is doing. So it's giving us our output down here. So here you can see top 3 performing titles with optimized descriptions. And I set up the prompt this way. Again, the power to these AI assistants is how good your prompt is that you have running on the back end. So right now, this one is tailored to give me 3, optimized prompts based off of the research that it pulls. And we're using Perplexity because Perplexity actually can use the web for research. So it gave me this first title here, Stunning AK Tigers Ultimate Wildlife Experience. So that's maybe a different title you could use for a video on the same topic, right? That's the whole logic behind this. And the third custom AI assistant I built, actually I took a step further and I added an extra module into the automation that we built, right? So instead of just ending at Perplexity and spitting out the data, there's an extra module here, and it's actually ChatGPT's Dolly. So let me show you guys how this works. So it's the same concept. I would have to work on this UI because if you can see, the Tweet Sniper and Onyx are really kind of cool. Like I spent time doing this, and you can really create these kinds of graphics and stuff inside of a tool like Canva, and just make sure the aspect ratios are the aspect ratios that you want. And you can just customize your AI assistant the way that you like, almost like Merlin, right? Or some tool that other people would pay for. You can build your own. So Onyx. So this is Onyx Paint. So it's like another version of Onyx. And it does the same thing, right? Takes the highlighted text, takes the URL, and uses that to generate the output. But I wanted to generate an image. So we had the titles in the last one, and now we're going to get some images. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to use this for a thumbnail or anything. Really, I was thinking using Onyx Paint more along the lines of, like, if I had to write a tweet about an article, I could quickly get some text from that, from that article and create a visual to include in the tweet. So let's just see how Onyx works, or Onyx Paint works. So let's do the same thing, paste highlighted text, analyze text, and generate the image. This might take a second because of the image generation process. But one thing to note here is the other 2 custom AI assistants have like a more, I think, cool UI, right? This one's a little bit more basic. So when you first set this up, it's going to look like this. And if you guys want, you can customize it however you want, like I said before. But that was the one thing I ran into when trying to build these out, was like the issue was is every time I tried to add one of these custom backgrounds and stuff like that, it might break what I'm building, and then I have to start building again from scratch. But it's possible, right? If I could build 3, you could build 3, you could build 10, you could build 20. Once you start building these, because the setup is so easy on the back end, you can start doing this for all kinds of stuff. So here's the image it generated, and look, this is just awesome, right? It takes the title, the URL, it tells me that it's generated successfully. To see below, I come here and I've got this beautiful image of a tiger, which is what the reference, the example is, right? So these custom AI assistants can be tailored to whatever you need. Remember that it's running off a prompt. So I think of it this way. If there's a prompt that you use every single day, and you like the output that that prompt gives you, and let's say you happen to be using Perplexity and that's the prompt that you use every day, you know that if you use this setup that we're using today, you can create a custom AI assistant, so you don't need to jump into Perplexity to run that prompt. Now you might say, oh yeah, but Perplexity has a Chrome extension, right? Perplexity does have a Chrome extension that I use that can summarize stuff and you can ask questions to. But this is more like you have that tailored prompt that you use, right? Why not plug that prompt in and not have to waste time jumping back and forth between different apps or different UIs, right? You have it just show up for you right here, real quick, click the button, analyze, and you're done. On the back end, another thing to note is we are using paid APIs. So me adding in this image generation was a little bit more pricey, but there are APIs that are free. Like I said earlier in the video, like Hugging Face. You guys can come over to Hugging Face and check out their models. And if you create an account on Hugging Face, which I have done, and I've experimented with creating automations that are running off of free APIs, so I pay no money. It's literally just the charge maybe for the actions it's taking or tasks it's completing inside of make.com, which is super cheap. I'll be sure to create a video about using Hugging Face, the free APIs, and setting them up in Make automations as well. Let's get back to finishing our custom AI assistant. The next step we're going to want to take is creating the Chrome extension portion of this assistant. We are going to need to do a little bit of coding for this, but we can use AI to assist us with this. Now, I'm here in Claude, and I'm going to use Claude today, but you can use ChatGPT. You can use free versions of these AIs because you won't need to prompt too much with this. It's not that crazy. So let me just show you how this works. I'm going to use a prompt that I have written out already that you guys can copy and paste into any other AI model for this portion. This prompt will be available in the free guide that's down in the description of this video. So let's first give it our prompt, and our prompt is something like this. I would like you to build a Chrome extension called the extension name. So you plug in the extension name that you want. The Chrome extension will do the following. When I highlight a piece of text on a web page, the extension will capture the highlighted text. It will also capture the current page's URL. The extension will send the captured text and URL to this webhook. So we're going to go back to Make. We're going to get our webhook URL and we're going to paste it here. And then the webhook will process that data or the data and return a response in plain text format to the extension name, right? And this will display the return text in a sidebar on the right-hand side of the browser window using a appropriate formatting. While waiting for the webhook response display loading animations in the sidebar, the animations should cycle through phrases such as analyzing data, processing information, crunching numbers, please wait. The header of the sidebar should feature a gradient color animation for visual appeal. The extension should be activated when the user clicks its button in the Chrome toolbar. Additional features, any additional features we want to add. And then we're telling it to please provide the full code for this extension, including manifest JSON, background JSON, content JS, and style CSS. Notes, only one logo icon is required for this extension. So for now, this is where you guys can start. But as you guys build these out, you're going to see that if you change up different parts of this, you're going to be able to really modify your custom AI assistant's look and feel. So yeah, let's use this for now. I'm going to change the extension name to something. Let's call it like let's call it Blueberry AI, just because I saw that strawberry thing from OpenAI. So let's call this one Blueberry AI. And let's get our webhooks. We got to go back to Make, go back to the scenario that we were originally working on. Click on your webhook module, and you're going to copy the URL here. So copy this. We're going to go back to our prompt. We're going to replace this webhook URL here with our webhook URL. And we changed the name. Let's change the name again here. Let me just copy this to make it quicker. This might actually take longer. But let's paste this here. And let's see what else we need to fill in. Remember that you can change any of this. Like, I don't want any other additional features right now. You can change this. And if anything doesn't work with this prompt, you can also use this as a starting point and just, modify this prompt to get what you want. I really want these files to come out separately, like the manifest JSON, the background JS, and the content JS. I don't want this to come out like one big chunk of code. So please provide the full code for this extension, each in their separate files. Each in their separate files, including manifest JSON, background JS, content JS, and style CSS. Okay, let's try and run this and see what happens. Looks like Claude is done. It's given us all our files that we need. So we've got the manifest JSON, we've got the background JS, the content JS, and the style CSS. What you're going to want to do next is create a new folder on your desktop. Give it the name of your AI assistant. So in this case, it would be like Blueberry. So I'm going to create the folder real quick. Once your folder is ready, we're going to start saving these files that the AI model has given us into that folder. All right, so now what we're going to do is copy the code that Claude has given us, or the AI model that you're using has given you. And we're going to open up a plain text editor. So something like Notepad, right? So we're going to open up Notepad and we're going to use Notepad for this. We're going to paste in our code that was given to us by the AI. We're going to go File, Save As, and you're going to want to save this as manifest.json. And you're going to want to do that for each file, right? So background.js, content.js, style.css. Using a text document or a plain text file is the way you want to go with this. It's the easiest way, and just to not complicate things, we're going to do it this way. Once we have all our files saved correctly in our folder, we still need to add some PNGs that are going to work as the icon for our Chrome extension. So I went back to Claude and I asked it to please give me the name of the files, right, that are included in the manifest JSON so that I use the right file names. And it gave me the dimensions of the icons and what they're used for. So like 16 by 16 icon is typically used in the Chrome extension list. The 48 by 48 icon is often used in the Chrome web store. And the 128 by 128 icons are used in the installation icon in the Chrome web store. And now to do this, you can go over to a tool like Canva and just export the art that you create for the icon in these aspect ratios. So 1 in 16 by 16, and you'd save that as icon.png in your folder. And then another one, 48 by 48, you save that as icon48.png and icon 128. And really, you can use the same image. So let me show you guys how you would do that in Canva. And with a free account, I'm sure you can create logos. Not sure if you can export in those dimensions. So if you guys need a solution for that, let me know down in the comments. I'll see if I can find something. But let me show you how you would do it in Canva just real quick. I would come over to the elements. We're working with this blank template, but I think the white background is going to be great for the icon, especially the idea I have. I think I want this blueberry here, and that's it. Something super simple, super easy. Now let's export it. And we're going to come here to share. We're going to go to download, and in download, we're going to make sure that the size is set to the sizes that it gave us, right? So 48 by 48 is 1, so we can save this one as icon 48 PNG. So let me make sure it's selecting the right graphic because I have all the other graphics that I built for my icons there as well. So let's come here, change this to our blueberry. Done. So it's only going to give us the blueberry and not all the other images. And we're going to download this as icon 48 PNG. Now, once it's done, we're going to open it up, check it out real quick, and we're going to see that it's tiny, and literally it needs to be these different sizes because of where it's going within the Chrome extension, right? So let's save this as icon 48 into our folder. You can see here all these different icons that I was building before. But let me go to our blueberry file and let's save it here as icon 48. Let's get rid of this 5. Make sure that the file name is exactly how we need it, right? Because it's actually part of the manifest JSON. So let's save it as icon 48. And we'll do the same for the other 3, right? And if you have Canva to resize it, you're just going to come here to download. And when you get to download, just change this to, slide this up or down to where you need to get to, right, for the pixel size. Icon 16 by 16. Let's see if I can get 16 by 16. Last time I think I had a problem with that. I couldn't get it down to 16 by 16. If you can't get it to resize the image to that size, you could always try and update the manifest JSON. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just ask it to update the manifest JSON. I'll tell it that I have a icon 24 instead. So let's do icon 24. It's going to save it all as icon 48 because I have the title of the project here in Canva as that. But Once you've downloaded it, go to it, see it's tiny. Let's save this one as icon 24, I think I said, right? You see, save as icon 24. Save. And yeah, I think that's right. And then the last one, let's see, the aspect ratio we need is 128 by 128. So let's go back to Canva. Let's go share. Let's go download and change this to 128. So 128 pixels. It's the problem I had last time. Look, right? It's not giving me like automatically 128. So here we know that this is 126. So let's just move this number up a little bit. So we want 6. Let's try 6.4. Close. What do you guys think it is? I think it might be 6.6. Perfect. All right, so download. So I couldn't get one of the icons down to 16 by 16 pixels. I did get one down to 24 by 24 pixels. So I went back to Claude and I asked it to rewrite the manifest JSON, replacing the icon 16 for icon 24, basically. And it rewrote the manifest JSON. And what you would do here is just copy the code again and replace the manifest JSON file inside of your folder. I updated the manifest JSON, and now it looks like we have all our files ready to go, our PNGs. It's time to move on to the next step, and we need to go to the Chrome Developer Dashboard. Now, you're going to find that here at the top right of your browser. You got to be on the Chrome browser, but if you're not, just open one of those up. I'm sure you can get to the Developer Dashboard without that, but this is how I'm showing you here. So come up here to this puzzle piece, click on that little puzzle piece, scroll down to the bottom, or just go to the bottom of the pop-up and click on Manage Extensions. Make sure that when you get here to this extensions page, that the developer mode is clicked on, and we are going to come over to this Load Unpacked button. We're going to click that, and we're going to make sure that it is pulling up the folder that has all our files in it. Select that folder and just load that. So here is our Blueberry AI assistant. It looks like there's an error. So let's check out the error. I'm going to show you guys a hack to work with errors and to troubleshoot them. So we can actually take a screenshot of this error or just copy and paste it, whatever. I prefer to take a screenshot of it and just send it over to Claude or the model that I'm using currently to, write the code for this. So let's take a screenshot real quick. And let's go over to Claude and say, I got this error. Let's see what it says. It knows it's a Chrome extension, so it knows that I uploaded it probably. So I apologize for this error. You're encountering the error message uncaught in promise error, cannot access Chrome URL, blah, 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 blah. This error is likely occurring in the background.js file. Let's modify it. So it's updating the files. And all we would do is use the same process we did earlier, which is copy it, replace the file in our folder, and re-upload it, right? So remove the one that you uploaded in the extension dashboard or the developer dashboard and re-upload it again. So let's try it. Let's make sure this works. As I was fixing the first error, I realized that we were missing 2 key files that we should always have inside of a pop-up Chrome extension, and that is the pop-up HTML and the pop-up JS. So I'll make sure to fix the original prompt that I have in our guide to include this because we need these for the pop-up to function. So I've added in these new pop-up HTML, pop-up JS to our folder, made the corrections, and now I'm going to load the extension again and see if it works. Let me remove the old extension. So remove that. And let's load our extension again. All right. So if we want to add it to our Chrome extensions here at the top, we're going to just click on the extension button, pin it to our tab here, and let's see if it pops up. Let's see if the pop-up works. All right, there we go. The pop-up is working, and it looks pretty cool. Select text on the page and click Analyze to see results. So this has a different layout, a different format than, for example, Onyx. You'd have to do a little bit more work in Onyx, but it's the same concept as what we did earlier, where like if you work with Claude and you explain to it like, hey, I want to include this PNG as the pop-up background for my Chrome extension, it will go through the process of how to save that file inside of the folder that we've been using and then you remove the Chrome extension, add the Chrome extension back in, load it up again, and just work from there as you make changes. So let's check out our Blueberry AI assistant, because it's actually not done. I made some more corrections and updates to the code inside of our Chrome extension, and I re-uploaded it because I wanted the visual to be a little different inside of the pop-up. So let's see how it looks now. All right, this looks a little bit better. I want to be able to see the text that we copy and the output. It's time for the final step. So let's go back to our scenario inside of make.com. Let's go over to the webhook module. I want you to right click on the webhook module and click on run this module only. Now what we're doing here is making sure that the webhook is working correctly and receiving the data. So you're going to see this kind of like loading icon here, this spinning wheel. What you're going to want to do is go over to a news article or wherever you want to grab your text from. Open up your Chrome AI assistant, click on the paste highlighted text button, and then click on the analyze button. And we get a message that says accepted. Now that means that the webhook should have received the data. It looks like it did. So if you go back to your scenario and you look here, you're going to see in the first bundle, the text is the text that we highlighted and the URL is the URL of the page that we were on. Perfect. Now we need to update the prompt inside of our Perplexity module. So click on the Perplexity module, come down to the content here, and you're going to add the data from the webhook to your prompt. So right now it says take this title. So let's click here and you're going to see that this little window pops up, and here you can see the data from your webhook. So take this title. So we're going to put the text here. So just click on that and it should pop into your prompt. And here it says take this title and URL. So let's add the URL here. Perfect. So take this title and URL, and please research the topic in the title and use the URL to give me a summary of the news article and any news on the topic or key points. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now that that's set up, we're just going to run this module only like we did with the webhook. So give it a right click, click on run this module only, click on OK. And let's see what kind of output we get. So if you want to see the output that you got, you can come over here to choices, collection, message, and I don't expect it to give me the right output because we still need to do another part of this. So I'm sorry, but you haven't provided a title or URL for the news article. Let's make sure this is set up correctly. It looks like it's set up correctly. So we've set up our custom webhook. We've set up our Perplexity module with our prompt. It's still not working fully, but I'll show you why in a second. And the webhook response is the last module we need to update. So here in the body of the webhook response, you're going to put the choices from your Perplexity output. So you're going to come down here to message. You click on choices, click on message, and then come to content. Click on the content, and that's going to be the output from the Perplexity module. Click on OK. And now for this to work correctly, turn it on, right? It says process old data, delete old data. Let's just delete the old data. Yeah, it's fine. Delete the old data. And then let's save what we did. Make sure to always save inside of make.com because sometimes this will crash and you can lose the scenario that you're working on. And then we are going to try and run it. Let's see if it works right off the bat. So let's come back to this article here, which is on our site, and let's highlight the text in the title only. I don't want to highlight all that. Just highlight this. Let's paste the highlighted text and let's analyze. All right, perfect. So it looks like it's working. It looks like it gave us, look, the title is Ray Kurzweil, AI author, future predictions and the singularity of vision. So it's understanding the data that it's receiving from the webhook. And that's really all you need to know. Is like once you understand that it's getting the data from the webhook, you can just mess around with the prompt and upgrade it or change it and do what you need to do with that data that you're getting from the webhook. One last thing before I sign off, make sure to leave your scenario turned on inside of Make for this. But once it's turned on and you've created this automation, you're going to be able to run your Chrome extension wherever you want. right? Wherever you want to use it, so you can just close out a make and continue to use it. So I definitely suggest tailoring these to specific tasks that you need to deal with every single day, or using a prompt that you use every day for this. Um, it's a time saver. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you need any links about anything we talked about today in this video, they will all be down in the description. There is a free guide detailing what we did here today, just in case. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your week, or whatever day it is where you are, and we will talk soon.